My boyfriend of 19 months is furious because I let my brother spend the night at my place after a night out and told me I'm disrespecting him when I let other men sleep over. Posted by you/Tai slept on the couch. So, my brother, 29M, and I, 22F, live in different parts of the country and only see each other once every few months. He was going to be in my town from last Wednesday until Saturday evening, so we made plans to go clubbing on Friday night with some of my friends. We hung out and came home around 4 a.m. I only have one bed in my apartment, so my brother crashed on my couch. We both woke up a few hours later, grabbed lunch, and went to the airport, where my brother headed back home. After that, he sent me a text when his flight landed safely, and that was it. Now, my boyfriend, 24M, and I don't live together, but I stay at his place quite often, or he stays at mine. He usually works 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, and he came home yesterday morning, so naturally, I was pretty excited to see him. I picked him up, and we came back to my place. Afterward, while chatting, I mentioned that my brother had spent the night at my place, and he got kind of weird. I prodded him to tell me what was wrong because, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why he suddenly went so quiet and sullen when, just 5 minutes earlier, we were having a flowing conversation. He told me it was nothing, so I let it go. Later, I asked him again because he was still in a bad mood. He said he didn't like the idea of another man staying at my place, regardless of who it was, and that it would not be happening again in the future. I was really confused because it was my brother, sleeping on my couch for one night after we hung out. It's not some stranger or even a guy friend, it's my brother. I laughed it off and said, "You can't be serious, you have to be joking," and he got really angry and left my place. Last night, I got an angry text saying that, as his girlfriend, I have to respect his wishes. And while I understand respecting what your significant other wants, compromise and all, this just seems ridiculous. I responded by asking him why my brother sleeping on my couch was such a big deal, and he said it just was, adding that a proper girlfriend doesn't let other men stay over alone with her and that it was incredibly disrespectful to him. More confusion from me, because again, this isn't some random guy I brought home, it's my brother. I tried talking to him after that, but I got a message saying we'd talk when he had composed himself. What am I supposed to do? I really love my boyfriend, but this is just confusing, and I don't know how to react. Also, I should note that I've never had any other guys alone at my place. Literally, only my boyfriend, apart from my brother, has ever been there alone with me. The only other times guys have been there have been during small group get-togethers, and that is quite rare. Relevant comments. Commenter. If your boyfriend is mad about your brother crashing on your couch after a late night of clubbing, he's got his priorities all wrong. I'd like to know why he's so upset about your brother staying. Another man? Sure, that would be understandable. But it's interesting that he's angry about family staying in your apartment. Ops response. I don't even know why. I've asked him that several times, and all he says is that he doesn't like me having other men over and that it's very disrespectful to him. Commenter. Had he considered how disrespectful he is to you by trying to tell you that you can't have family at your own apartment? Personally, I'd be out of that relationship/situation. I'm not down with people trying to tell me who I can and cannot be around if they're family. Or there needs to be a conversation about what boundaries he's allowed to set and the expectations of him. Commenter 2. This is pretty disturbing behavior, in my opinion, very controlling and unreasonable. I'd be very wary if I were you. I think you need to get to the bottom of this before your relationship progresses any further. My only thought here would be, and perhaps this is blowing it way out of proportion, but does he have some kind of traumatic brother/sister relationship issue in his past somewhere? Ops response. He's actually an only child, so there's no chance of any traumatizing brother/sister events in his past. Commenter 2. Alright, so we're just left with controlling and unreasonable. Best of luck, but I would recommend letting this one go and counting your blessings that you found this behavior now. Op adds an edit to her post. Okay, so my boyfriend and I have been texting for the past hour or so. He sent me a hey, and I was kind of in a pissy mood after he brushed me off last night, so I simply replied with, "Are you ready to talk?" He replied, "Okay," so I asked him what the deal was with my brother sleeping on the couch. He's not some random guy from a bar, he's not even just a guy friend, he's more than that. He's my brother, I grew up with him. There is absolutely no reason for him to worry or freak out in that situation because it's my brother, of all people. There is literally nothing threatening about it, not physically toward me or to our relationship. His response, I just am not comfortable with that. I know it's your brother, but I think there are boundaries that should be in place. Why didn't he go back to the friend's place he stayed at on Wednesday and Thursday? My response: "You're not answering my question, you're just repeating what you told me last night." Also, my apartment was closer to the club than his friend's place. Him: "We've been together for some time now, and I think that as a couple, it looks bad when you let other guys stay over, regardless of who they are to you. I would never do something like that to you, and I think it's only fair that you reciprocate. It's hard to explain things because I know you can't see them from my perspective." Him: "You shouldn't really need other guys to be so close to you. Why couldn't you just put your brother in a cab and send him on his way, just like we'd normally do with all our other friends? Anyway, I have a meeting now, so I'll talk to you later. Enjoy your day, babe, bye." I don't even know how the hell to react right now. This is the first time he's ever acted like this. He's met my brother before, and they've always gotten along well. Update 17 days later. Against my better judgment, I did not immediately break up with my boyfriend. I tried convincing myself it was a one-time thing, maybe he was just going through a rough patch, and I tried pushing it down. I did tell my brother what happened, and he replied, saying he'd always thought my boyfriend and he were at least cool with each other. He then told me my boyfriend was being nuts and that if I needed to crash for a few days, I could come up to his place. The rest of the week remained tense with my boyfriend, but as the weekend approached, things were more relaxed-ish. We went on a date, hung out with some friends at a bar, and yet, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out the reasons for his outburst. On Sunday, I asked him again, "Now that you seem to be in a better mood, would it be so bad if I ask what was up last week?" And once again, his mood went from friendly and relaxed to Arctic. He simply asked if I had to keep bringing up bullcrap when we were doing okay again. I got pretty angry and told him to leave my apartment. Since Sunday, I've been stewing and looking back at our relationship. Sure, I have my friends, but we hang out with them much less. The ones we do see are more his friends, people he's comfortable being around. It was rough, but in hindsight, I started noticing controlling behavior from him that I had never really acknowledged before, either because I was head over heels or because I was willing to compromise on everything. And by compromise, I mean rolling over and giving up. We talked last night, and I gave him an ultimatum, something I never expected to do in any relationship. Either he sat down and talked this out with me like a rational person, with no BS answers and no dodging questions, or we broke up. Instead of having a conversation, he broke down and started telling me I was the best thing he'd ever had, that he had issues he couldn't even begin to explain, and that he didn't want to lose me. Now, I'm sorry if this makes me seem like a beach, but that wasn't the answer I wanted or deserved, not when I had been the one rolling over and giving him whatever he wanted throughout our entire relationship. So I told him it was best if we didn't see each other anymore and that he should leave my apartment. He left but spent almost 2 hours just sitting in his car in front of my place before finally driving off close to midnight. So, yeah, we broke up. I admit I feel more sad than relieved, so I'm hoping I don't do something stupid like drunk dialing him or calling him over because I'm lonely or something like that. But yeah, we're not together anymore. Relevant comments. Commenter: I don't think you were being a beach, I think you opted out of being manipulated. He was trying to pull your strings, and you didn't let him, which I think was a solid choice. Good job for getting out. Commenter 2. Right on the nose. He was going to tell Op what she wanted to hear so she would stay with him, but he would never actually change. Commenter 3. I think Op did the right thing, but there's no way to know if he'd change or not. When faced with desperate circumstances, people tend to see the truth right in front of them for the first time. They'll either fight that truth, run from it, or ride to meet it, whatever the consequences. There's a chance he may have risen to the challenge, but it was just too late for Op to give him that chance, and I think she made the right call. It was going to be a long, tough road with backtracking, confusion, bitterness, etc., before he could be trusted to handle either of their emotions again. Alone, he can work on himself without doing it for anyone but himself, and he wouldn't have to put her through any more grief. She can begin to heal from a toxic relationship and not have to worry about supporting both of their emotional needs while he goes to therapy or whatever. People can change, so try not to condemn those who truly want to get better, but just because he changes doesn't mean they'll be right for each other after he does. Op made the right move.